this year. That's because he hasn't come through their own domestic qualifying to get here. It's not like tennis where it's individual. You make your own applications and you join. As we now pick it up at the beginning, best of 3 sets, best of 3 games, this Konica Cup Men's Open Final.
And Arbi starts it off by going cross court with the smash. Taufik, slow starter, trailed Peter Gator early and often before pulling that one out in 3 games.
It's a great feature, I think, of this matchup. I mean, he's got wonderful jump smashes, Arbi. Whether or not he can keep doing it for 3 games, that's one factor. But really, the more interesting element is what the young man this side of the net does. Taufik, just an unbelievably talented youngster. I think every time he gets on the court, he's going to improve. I saw him for the first time yesterday, and the first thing that impressed me was how economically he moved around the court. His court coverage is absolutely sensational. At the end of 3 hard games, he was not breathing heavily at all, and that's testament to his mobility and his anticipation. He's the one that tends to stand in the middle of the court and dictates the play.
I saw Arbi going wide. Arbi, in an interview yesterday, admitted that he had never played Taufik and wasn't quite sure what to expect. Here the youngster serves, still at love all. That goes wide. Had it dropped in, Arbi didn't have a play on it. So both gentlemen just feeling the other out. That misses. Just couldn't quite find the tee in the far corner. Shot caught the tape, fell on Arbi's side. There's that quick smash. Arbi didn't have to jump for that one. Just off the back foot. Ooh, I don't know.
No. I'm looking pretty well down the line. I thought he actually caught the line.
No argument, though, from Taufik.
No, he did gesture with his left hand, but exactly as he responded yesterday in Peter Gator's match, there were a couple of dodgy line calls there.
Too close to the line. Arbi forced to make a play on it. Miss hit on the return.
It's the interesting thing with line calls in badminton. I mean, any sort of questioning of calls is almost tantamount to sedition. You know, Hingis, well, even in the modern day, you know, there's so many players that ask for lines first if they're sure about the call, or even get sort of angry, Martina Hingis style. They don't last long in badminton.
Arbi goes down the line into the net, and as you mentioned yesterday, badminton, differing from other racket sports, the chair umpire cannot overrule the line judge on a line call. Taufik changes shuttles, trailing 1-2. Careless shot played by the 27-year-old Arbi. You mentioned the fact that Arbi, difficult to get his way into international tournaments, forced to play trials. He had to do that for the Konica Cup. Got through that. Had some big wins here earlier in the tournament for Fung Pramati, Ong Yu Hawk, the Malaysian.
It's been a very good tournament for Arbi. Fung and Ong Yu Hock and Hendra won, the defending champion. I mean, that's 3 excellent wins in a row.
Arbi having some difficulty with the net. He sent several shots below the tape.
Service fault call against Taufik. The service judge there is to make sure the very strict rules of the technical rules on service motion are applied.
Arbi rushing that shot, Brian. The 27-year-old is a little wild starting it off here in the first game. Oh, Taufik going to the floor. No play on that. Perfectly placed by the Indonesian veteran.
Well, Arbi's going to have to hit that sort of quality of smash. As Peter Gader found out yesterday, Taufik's defense is so solid that it's going to take an exceptional shot to get past him.
There, Arbi tested the backhand twice before going cross court. He's back within 1. Even though
Taufik put the shuttle in the net, he was there to make the shot plenty of time. When he was there, again, a couple of simple mistakes.
To the backhand again. Arbi down the flank. Now leads 6-5 after trailing by 2.
That's the strength of Arbi. The jump smashes.
That just misses. His jump smashes have earned him the nickname Jumping Jack Flash. And Jack Flash goes into the net on that jump smash.
Isn't it Jumping Jack Flash, it's a smash? Isn't that the line?
Yes, I think you're right, Brian.
There we are, so highly appropriate.
I missed Gone with the Wind, but I caught that one.
You did well.
Oh, and Taufik just misses over to the far side. But he had the right idea. Arbi did not have the backhand side of the court covered. And he waves at that one.
A couple of times now, Taufik has managed to hit the shuttle across court with just a flick of the wrist at the last minute. Watch him here. There, it looks as though he was going to go down the line, didn't it, to the last minute.
Oh, Arbi, in hurrying that shot, sent it outside the entire court onto the blue.
Well, the key for Taufik was that he played that drop shot to the net and then came in to cover it.
And the backhand at the net, pinning Arbi deep the entire rally.
But again set up by the forehand little clip cross court there, and then he was able to come in, flick it off. Not an easy kill, but he made it look simple.
Now a 2-point lead for the 18-year-old. His backhand is getting crisper and crisper as this first game progresses. for placement on the forehand smash. He's on a big roll here now, 4 points away from a 1-game lead. And that's on the line.
Taufik pointing over to the spot on the forehand side where he thought Arbi was going to hit it. But this is what Arbi does, and does well.
Net cord. Hurt Taufik on that rally.
But it was a good net shot from Arbi. So making the clear, he had to, it was difficult to keep it away from the net, in fact.
Lots of smashes here in this first game. These two guys forming little white clouds of smoke in the far corners.
Arbi breathing fairly heavily, and I'm looking down at Taufik, and he is just as cool and relaxed as can be. He's not breathing heavily at all. I don't think he's even perspiring.
We were particularly impressed by his stamina against Peter Gator yesterday in 3 exhausting games. Backhand at the net, no problem for Arbi. Flick of the wrist.
You know, it's the same sort of mental approach to the game that Bjorn Borg used to have in his heyday, that used to be so destructive to his opponents. You know, he never responded angrily to a call or a mistake. Very rarely you saw him breathing heavily. So the opponent just thought, well, if it goes the distance, he's not going to tire, he's not going to get angry, he's not going to get distracted.
That shot calmly played by Arbi. You could see he was trying to find a hole in defense of Taufik. There just wasn't one.
No, superior footwork by Taufik. He got finally the chance to smash. So you're not going to hit the line every single time.
Taufik was trying to avoid allowing Arbi to gain the forehand smash, but that's exactly what happened, and Arbi took it down the flank for a winner. He's got the serve back trailing by 2.
Still very tight this first game. If you want to compare yesterday's match with today's Taufik against Peter Gator, I mean, Peter Gator won the first game fairly comfortably after a slow start, but it was by movement, pushing Taufik around. Very rarely was he able to just hit outright winners, which is the talent that former world champion here has. So it's a slightly different game, but it's interesting that they haven't played each other before, but they will have seen each other in close range enough to know the game.
Arbi gets a point back, now within 1 of a tie at 10-11. That backhand right into the chest of Arbi. He had no play on it. Taufik leads 11-10 with the serve. Arbi out-touching Taufik at the net there.
The shuttle was tumbling, you know, I've mentioned it a couple of times this broadcast already. So Taufik had to let it go until it stopped moving, spinning. By that time it was too late. It was almost about knee height.
Badly played by Arbi, lifting that long and wide. Oh, that's much better.
Yes, it started with a very good return of serve. Very crafty shot. Just dropped it short, then he got the high clear. So that's the key for him. If he can get a good net shot, he's going to get the lift from Taufik. And if the lift's not perfect, then he's going to have a chance to use that smash.
Taufik smartly, in the middle of a high-speed rally, lets that go. A couple of times he froze Arbi, 27-year-old, not sure where that shuttle was going to go.
Well, he turned tables on Arbi by playing a series of drop shots so that it was Arbi that had to lift.
And a smash to the backhand side of Arbi, and he's 2 points away now, claiming game 1.
We still haven't seen him breathe heavily. Very close encounter there, eyeball to eyeball across the net. Very fast stuff, quick reflexes from Taufik, but Arbi was thinking all the time, just trying to sort of prise open the defences of his opponent.
That's where he's had the best luck, with the smash to the backhand cross court against Taufik. So Arbi struggling, but still just down by 1. Serve into the net. Taufik now has missed to both sides on the deep shot. That's called in, so we are tied at 13.
And again, he accepts the call without question, without reaction. He looks round. Yeah. To the cameraman, sorry.
Back at the live action, Taufik smashes down. A shot left high and fat, so he gets the serve back, tied at 13. Taufik slams the racket down in frustration.
Well, that's the first show of emotion from the youngster that we've seen. And he didn't like the way that he just fed the strength of Arbi there.
That's why they call him Jumping Jack Flash. Perfect example. Arbi will change shuttles. Yesterday, Taufik played a tight game 1, eventually losing it 17-14 to Peter Gator. Good presence of mind to let that go.
See how he plays just a fraction closer to the net than Arbi in those close exchanges. He's always trying to get that bit of an edge.
quite get the lift off the backhand. Taufik playing a series of low shots. He has a game point.
Again, brilliant footwork from the youngster. Big smash and the split stride as he lands, ready to move again. Game point.
Dropping in. I think Taufik just hoping there that would drop wide.
There's a fraction of a drift this back corner. It just helps it put the brake on, and that was quite a way in.
Brilliantly played by Taufik. First setting up Arbi with a low drop shot and then getting him back with the smash to the forehand.
Yeah, the youngster using the limited experience he has to say, right, okay, let's get off. A bit of a towel down, drink of water, because now he's going to try and serve it out again.
Remarkable poise for an 18-year-old. A lot of youngsters would have packed it in after losing the first game against Peter Gator. Not so Taufik Hidayat. Game point number 2. Just misses the line, and Taufik has taken game 1, 15-13. Not easy for the 18-year-old, and Arbi, a former Konica Cup champion, has run into an 18-year-old with lots of stamina, power to both sides. Taufik Hidayat takes game 1. We'll have game 2 when we return live to the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Now looking to defeat Arbi in the first time they have met in international competition. More smashes from Taufik. That's finally what got him through the game, along with excellent retrieval skills.
Service over. Love 1. Service over. 1 love.
That drifts outside the line. So Arbi here, trailing love 1. And that goes in. So the players again fooled by the draft on the left side.
Yeah, but I think there Arbi was fooled by the change of direction. Just changing the angle of the wrist at the last minute on that shot. That was hit with a huge amount of venom. Unfortunately, just a fraction wide. See again, another sign of a deep breath, a hint of exertion.
Service over. 1 love.
Arbi hitting some wild shots that really hurt him in game 1. There's another one.
Service over. Love 1.
But the thing, I mean, his game is to go for those big smashes. They're not all going to go in.
One all.
Good job, Arbi. He was out of position, still managed to make a good shot on the return.
And it looked as though Taufik was a little bit too complacent. I think he was in control of that rally till he put it in the net.
There Taufik goes into the net, but early in the second game, he's not giving Arbi much to smash with.
Taufik just seems to have taken a couple of notches off his game. Well, that was actually just well played by Arbi, but Taufik seemed to sort of relax a little bit. So what he's done, the good thing is he's got the first game.
A big run now for Arbi, jumping out in front by 4 at 5-1. Tumble shot just misses.
Again, I think you'll see Taufik just come into shot there. He was right on top of that.
You hear Taufik put the brakes on, coming into the net.
It's actually quite worrying there when you go in. You know, rubber on rubber, you can easily twist your ankle and damage the Achilles. Knees and ankles really take a pounding in badminton. I'm surprised there are not more ankle injuries.
Arbi tried to take that wide to the backhand side against Taufik. He serves, trailing by 5. Direction. I, and along with everyone else, thought that was going down the line.
The key there was he got underneath the shuttle in position very early. Brilliant footwork once again. And then had the spring in the legs to get up early, and he had the choice. Did he hit the hard smash or the fake?
Right at the body of Taufik. Big time jump smash from Arbi on that one, really elevating.
Yeah, and a change of direction as well. His favourite is the inside-out smash over to the other side. This one dragged the racket across the back of the shuttle and cut it down. See, not quite as fast, which enabled it to actually go in the court on the shortest path, straight down the court.
Arbi resumes serve, leading by 4, trailing 1-0. Right on top of the net. Taufik trying to drop one over right in front of Arbi, and the 27-year-old would have none of it.
Drop followed up by a drop. Great response from Taufik. Perfect trajectory on that one. You saw coming from left to right. Tough for Arbi. You've almost got to be on the top of the net as he was a couple of rallies ago to be able to deal with it.
Arbi sends one into the net. Arbi has hit a lot of half-hearted shots, if you will, into the net. Some meek responses. Arbi left that much too late. So Taufik closes to within 2 at 5-7. just inside the tee. Wonderful placement from Arbi on that.
Pushing it deep to the forehand side.
Great closure coming into the net off the cross-court smash.
Yeah, I think everyone was expecting the big smash from Taufik, and he went twice in a row with the off-speed hit, but then followed in the second one to be able to finish it off. It's very interesting, you know, he hasn't got any obvious strength. He's got no obvious weakness either. It's just an all-round game that has got to get better. So he's only 2 weeks into his 18th year, or 19th year, being 18. Let's get technical.
There, Taufik gets powerful going to the forehand side. Arbi guarding the line a little too closely. So Taufik capitalizes and closes to within one in the process. That drops in. Remember, Arbi had a 7-3 lead. That's gone now. We're level at 7.
Service over, 7-all.
Just left too high.
8-7.
Taufik looked round to see whether the racket had gone over, and actually, looking at that camera angle, it looked as though he had.
Agreed.
The chair umpire was checking his score.
7-8.
Taufik moving around Arbi with ease.
The great thing is to be able to follow up your shots. He knew that should have been a winner anyway. Arbi did extremely well on the forehand side. Then getting that was a great bit of recovery work, but Taufik had got himself into position to finish it off. 8 apiece, second game.
A big run by Taufik. 6-2 over the last 8 points. The lead 9-8.
Service over, 8-9. Service over, 9-8.
Arbi couldn't get that over the net.
I think they're enjoying this little net battle. You know, you think men's badminton is all about big smashes and whatever. I think that's just a tough shot.
That gets over his head and goes long.
Well left.
And Arbi goes long down the line. Taufik asks to towel off. Gives a chance to tell you about prize money, $12,000 for the winner of the men's singles final here, finishing second Get you $6,000 US. The two losing semi-finalists, that's H. Henderwan and Peter Gator, will each take home $3,000 US. Konica Cup, one of the more lucrative stops in the entire badminton tour worldwide. Huge smash. Taufik showing he can elevate almost as well as Arbi. Take a look at this. What clearance off the back of the court from the 18-year-old. So after trailing 7-3, he now leads 10-9. Really hitting the lines here against the former world champion. As I say that, Arbi gets the net cord, earn the serve back. And he goes quickly to the backhand side of Taufik. We're level at 10. Left too high, but there's more of that net play you were talking about.
You see Taufik coming in, trying to cut off the angles. Arbi's still very quick.
I'm sure Arbi had that point won.
Well, 3 or 4 absolutely world-class shots in that rally. That one there was brilliant, and then the reply by Taufik was just as good. Perfect trajectory on that one. And again, with a lunge and a slight slip of the front foot. Really is high-class stuff.
The way Taufik keeps himself in each and every point is truly amazing. Retrieval skills, for real here in the Konica Cup. Arbi goes back to work on the line on the backhand side. Taufik got there late. I think he was admiring his own handiwork with the cross-court smash.
Arbi picked that one out as soon as his opponent went up in the air. You see it, I mean, it looked spectacular, and it was. You think, how the heck did he get it back? But he anticipated the shuffle.
On the live action, Taufik pushes one wide. And a back and forth game 2. Arbi leads 13-10. And now a game point. Taufik forced to rush to the back of the court. And that net cord will get over. And game 2 goes to the former world champion and former Konica Cup champion. And just as we had in the ladies singles, we are going to go to a game 3. Arbi takes it 15-10, and we'll have that game 3 for you when we return to the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Live coverage of the Konica Cup 1999 continues.
1 love.
Taufik going into the net. Behind the back and dropping in. Rare that that would fall for a winner.
Well, that's the shot of the day. Look at that. Oh, goodness me. Well, they're saying that he could possibly be the best player since Rudy Hartono. That was a Rudy Hartono special.
dropping long, so we're tied at 1. There, Arbi gets it over, sending it into the body of Taufik. Taufik's been the more spectacular of the two. Arbi, though, the steady hand. More of it there.
Good anticipation by Arbi. Going across the net very quickly, getting there in time to be able to play the flick over his opponent's head.
3-1.
Remember the last time Arbi won an international tournament, it was right here at the indoor stadium 2 years ago. Really covering that net well against the 18-year-old. Back to the live action. Cord falls. Arbi obviously not expecting that. Arbi just waves at that one.
Telegraph the drop shot.
Better looking smash from Arbi there.
It's an explosive stroke. He's so quickly back under it.
And that's on the line. Arbi didn't make a play on it. Not sure if he was thinking that would go long, or rather he just couldn't get there.
If Taufik starts to feed Arbi, he's going to find himself on the floor once or twice too often. He's got to keep his concentration. Remember, that's not the place to put it to him. Well, at least the fact that he's wiping his face must mean that he's perspiring, so that's something.
But our breathe watch continues. Still
No.
haven't seen the heavy breathing.
Not the first sign of a breath. I presume he does breathe.
There, Arbi just out driving Taufik. Nothing fancy about that rally.
You get to this point of the third game, you think, right, the experience of former world champion, twice All England champion, and all that experience can start coming into play.
And there, Taufik misses badly wide. Perhaps a shade too aggressive on that as Arbi doubles up 6-3.
The question of knowing when to go for the winners and when to play safe, you know, and as it gets tighter towards the end, just make sure you stay very tight, anticipating a down the line there, or even perhaps a net shot. And the last time that Taufik was able to play those sort of shots was right at the beginning of the first game, where he played a couple of cross-court flicks for clean winners. It's almost has been a forgotten stroke since then.
Net cord. Taufik, though, stretching out for each and every shot. Goes to the floor hard. As Arbi gets the serve back.
Full stretch, and he has left small imprint of perspiration on the court, I guess from his hand, and certainly nothing from the rest of it. The thing is, Arbi won't mind putting in the extra effort, breathing heavily, perspiring and all the rest of it if he continues to hit winners. As long as he's got enough fuel in the tanks to finish the race, that's all that matters.
That ball's inside the line, so Taufik gets it back, but he's seen the gap widen. He trails by 4. Just dying over the net.
Well, for all his reputation as a powerful smasher, which is obviously justly deserved, you've got to add his ability at the net.
Didn't let Arbi know where that shot was going to go until the last possible second.
The danger for Taufik is that he just tries to sit back and play in a defensive mode. Not all that wise to do against Arbi. If you can, you have to try and attack. And he played that rally just about as well as he could have done.
So not bad retrieval from Taufik to get the first shot. Arbi finishes it off with a clean smash. And we're stuck on 7-3.
Powerful and an explosive shot once again. It's the smash of a smaller player. You know, we saw in the doubles yesterday, for example, the two big English guys, Simon Archer and Nathan Robertson. They couldn't smash like that. It's too much of a sort of a heavy muscle. You know, they can hit it with power, but it's not an explosive sort of stroke. You almost need to be this sort of physique to be able to hit it.
And you touched on a good point before when you said it's a question of when to use the smash also. And there, Taufik employs it judiciously. Get the serve back. Really, Taufik should have had that point because Arbi sat on it in the backcourt and left it high and fat. Not one of his better shots. Right on top of the serve from Arbi. Even if that had cleared the net, it would have gone wide. So Taufik picks up a point.
Finally moved the scoreboard away from 3-7. 4-7 now.
That was an Arbi-esque kind of smash.
Yeah, he needs a couple of quick points, I think. And that comes at a very timely moment. As both these players went 3 games yesterday. Taufik winning 15-10 against the former world's #1, Peter Gader. And Arbi winning 15-10 in the third against defending champion.
That's 4 straight points now from Taufik, as he levels this third game at 7-all.
Just what Taufik wanted. He threw it up there. He went with a high serve, going to Arbi's strength, and Arbi almost not expecting to be given that, so he makes a mistake. He's made another mistake there, and Arbi, the one that's supposed to have the experience to be able to tighten things up, has got very loose, going for a couple of winners that went astray. So they change and halfway through this third game, so that there's no undue advantage one end or the other to continue this third game. Taufik 8-7 up.
Taufik Hidayat, SEA Games champion. Now looking to become the Konica Cup champion. Retrieval of the drop shot, just too high, giving Taufik time to get into the net.
And then he played the fake shot, so that it was going to go to the backhand side, and then he just angled the racket away. When you see it from the side, there's no way of telling which direction it's going to go. From this angle, you see the deception. Wild serve, and again going with the high serve, trying to put it over Arbi's left shoulder.
See, that gets over. Arbi taking no chances. He waited on a couple of shots late before playing them. Taufik asks, towel off. Over the last year, Taufik Hidayat gained revenge on a couple of big names in badminton, first beating Dong Jiang the 98 Brunei Open after previous losses to him, and then yesterday Peter Gator, who had beaten him 3 straight times, going down in 3 games. Slow, following in his smash. Taufik had left that return high, and Arbi couldn't do anything with it. There you see Taufik badly out of position. So a good 3-point cushion now, the Indonesian youngster. That's a better effort from Arbi. He needs to get the serve back and get some quick points going here. All the momentum with the 18-year-old.
Stranded there with a 3/4 distance into court, and Arbi with the jump smash there. Too much of an angle for him. From there, you'd expect the former world champion to be able to hit the floor.
Arbi goes from corner to corner. First great retrieval from Taufik on the far forehand side, and then able to go upstairs and smash a winner.
Arbi knew it was coming that side, but it was hit with such power that he really couldn't control the defensive shot.
Arbi really working on the flanks of the court now. He's got the serve back. 8-10 this third game. Now 9-10 as Taufik sends it into the net. And square at 10-all. Taufik goes wide.
Good powerful drive across court by Taufik. So he towels off. It's a bit of a breather because that was a good response from Arbi after conceding 6 points in a row to go from 7-4 up to 7-10 down.
Ball just long. Arbi with the good eye. And that misses. Now 11-10. So plenty of ebb and flow in this game 3. Two-point lead.
Well, that was a savage smash from Taufik. Fraction wide.
Oh, you can see Arbi put up the left fist. He rused that shot into the net. Taufik changes shuttles. Forcing Taufik very deep to retrieve those shots. Good whip on the backhand.
Yeah, he's demonstrated great control over that shot in this final. Wasn't much in evidence yesterday in the match against Peter Gader. It just shows you he's got pretty well the full arsenal.
That's on the line.
Good aggressive play from Arbi there.
And placed into the forehand side. Taufik slamming his racket down for the second time in frustration.
Well, I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest, what the rules on racket abuse are. If he breaks the racket, I think like in tennis, he gets a code violation. So, two rare demonstrations of emotion from the youngster as it just starts to slip away.
Arbi there looking back at the fans. He realized he should have played that shot. Going long, Arbi snaps the fist up, and he can smell it now at 13-10.
Well, whatever happens in this final, I mean, Arbi, having announced that he wouldn't mind moving here on a permanent basis, it'd be great for him to win. Only his third tournament this year. But Taufik's already done, I think, more than anyone expecting. He's had a couple of great wins. He's got to the final of a five-star event.
And now, a championship point for Heryanto Arbi looking for his second Konica Cup title. Taufik not done yet. Snapping that cross-court smash for a winner. Meek return, dives at the net.
Championship point once again.
That's in. Inside the line. Arbi didn't have a play on it anyway.
He's made a lot of mistakes on that shot, pushing it too long 3 or 4 times in this game.
That's great play from Taufik. Here you are down 10-4, facing match point. You still are able to lay off those shots. That was only maybe a centimeter wide.
And once again, he goes to the high serve, supposedly to the strength of Arbi, just to give him a tester, the unexpected. But that time, Arbi was able to finish off the shot.
Championship point number 3. Still can't finish him off.
It's funny how the same scenario occurs in many sports. Like in tennis, the hardest game to win is the one when you're serving for the match.
Arbi will have another chance to serve for it. As that goes into the net. Low from Taufik. Arbi towels off.
Still doesn't look fatigued, does he?
Just looks eager to get on with it. Lots of energy. The change of pace. Heryanto Arbi has won.